Hello, so I think we're live now. What I'm going to test is the performance in CD Skylines 2. Last time I tested it, I think the reaction is quite good. So at the request on the viewers, I would like to do some more testing here. So let's go through the settings again. So we are at 4K, 120 Hz is the refresh rate of my OLED TV. So I've disabled DLSS. And I think everything else is on high. No resolution scaling. And everything else is on, yeah, we're pretty much maxed out. Visual advanced. Yeah. Selection. Yeah, pretty much. So we will now go into console. So first off, regarding this save game, I've downloaded all 3 save games for testing today from the internet. So they are not on my playthroughs. So the first one that you are seeing here is a 200K population city, just like this. So first, when you load into the city, there's a lot of stutters and load-ins. I think they are still compiling the shaders. But after that, I think we got to a stable FPS now, which is 40 something without DLSS. So I don't think turning on DLSS or turning it off it makes too much of a difference, because I tried turning it all the way down to the ultra performance and it's basically pretty much like similar. Because if you see in the benchmark on the right, you'll see the GPU usage doesn't reach the full potential. I think it's CPU limited for this game. So even with the 9950X3D, we are CPU limited in the 5090. So we just occasionally get up to like about 95, but most of the time it's like 80 something, 90 something. Never goes above that. And the CPU temperature, it's on air cooling for the 9950X3D, around 75 degrees. And CPU usage is 62%, 67%. So definitely the highest CPU usage game that I've ever seen. The VRAM, on the other hand, is a little bit low side. It just limits itself to below 12 gigabytes. So if you're running on a lesser graphics card, I don't think you need to worry about it. If your main goal is to play this game, the CPU is definitely going to be the bottleneck. And for this game, I've specifically turned off game mode. So I'll try to see if when I turn on game mode in the game, whether it will improve or decrease the frame rate. Because for this CPU in particular, 9950X3D, once you have game mode on, basically it will park CCA1. So for the game, it will just utilize the 8 cores on the first CCD, and the other 8 cores will be used for other applications, or will be parked if all you do is running the game. For this game, I think it can pull as many cores as it can, so I've disabled the game mode to make it utilize all 16 cores, 32 threads in the 9950X3D. I can show you the Ryzen master here. Yeah, so I'm in creator mode. Let me see if I can yeah, just maybe look at the screen, this home screen. So it's basically like both CCDs have been utilized fully. I know the text will be super small, so you'll have to, I mean, 1 or 2 cores are running at about like 4.8 close to 5 gigahertz. The funny thing is, I think CCD0, which is in most situations used to run the games, are quite low clock speeds. I'm not sure why, but yeah, I think that's with the game mode off. So we are seeing in this particular screen 61 FPS. Let's get to a PC area. I think we were zoom out a little bit so that gets down to maybe. Yeah, let's go to this area. Lots of buildings. So we get down to around 40 FPS, low 40s. Let's stay here and I'll turn game mode on. First we'll check if it does anything to. Actually, with game mode on, I think CCD0 has been used a little bit more now. So an increasing frame rate. Okay, okay, so we'll go to the console and see what's the simulation speed. So as you can see, we are around 0.99, so very close to 1. I think it's certainly acceptable performance here for a 200k population city. Let's see if there's any difference if I turn game mode off again. I'm not sure if I actually have to restart the game to test this, but we'll just work with what we have here. This time we'll try the game mode on while starting the game, and the result is different. I'll let you guys know. Yeah, I would say very close. Maybe I'll just a tad slower. No, I don't think there's a meaningful difference here. Yeah. So that's a 200k CD. Next stop. I'll load. Yeah. The 500,000 population map, which I also downloaded. I hope it doesn't freeze on me. Okay. Looks like we are going. Okay, so when you first load into the city, it's just very slow. And if you zoom in right now, you'll get down to like 1 FPS, trust me. And so we'll let it stabilize maybe a little bit first. 13 FPS, 24 FPS, 43. So we're up to 91% CPU usage now. Pops up to Donald how we can get above 103, get above 100%, but I think that's the ASUS software. That's what the software says. Okay, so I think we can zoom in a little bit and see what the FPS looks like. So it's around 30 FPS, which isn't too bad. 30 FPS is Switch territory, right? And people are still saying Switch is good. You can sub-switch 30 FPS. So considering we are looking at like 500,000 people city, I don't think that's too bad. Let's switch to DLSS performance and see whether things would improve. My suspicion is no, but let's try that anyway. Okay, so we enable DLSS. Ultra performance. Let's go to ultra performance. Yes. Resume game. Yeah, there is a difference, I think. Goes up to 40. Oh, but the resolution is like really bad. It's like playing original SimCity now. You look at the buildings. I mean the aliasing and stuff. Let's see if we can strike a better balance by going DLSS balanced. Right. 30, 40 something. I think that's much smoother now. 40 something FPS. So similar to the 200K CD. The FPS that we're getting now. But the CPU usage has gone up to 83-90%. DRAM usage is still low. A little bit above 12 gigabytes now, but still very low VRAM usage. I think they can definitely make use of more VRAM to relieve some of the burden of the CPU. I'm not sure if I'm thinking that right, but I think that's something that they can do. So let's look at the simulation speed. It's very small. So it's fluctuating between, I think, 88, 89 and around 94, 95. I see 95, 0.95. Yeah, 88 to 9, 0.88 to 0.95. Oh, I'm seeing 969. Yeah, so not close. It's a little bit further away from 1. Of course, I'm on 1x sim speed. And then it's strange that over time it seems to increase. I'm looking at the smooth speed parameter. Let's try to toggle game mode again. Let's turn it on. See if there's any difference. Yeah, it's 93.95. Yeah, I think 0.88 to 0.96 is the range for a 500,000 population city. And if you turn on the DLSS balance on 5090, you get around 40 something FPS, which I think is totally acceptable for a simulation game. Oh, it's strange. Over time it gets up to like 98. Game mode on. Yeah, it's more like a fluctuation around above 90 now, so maybe turning on game mode would be an advantage here. Not sure. Yeah. So when I actually see if there's any difference if I actually move off with the we already on simulation, so we're fine there. Yeah, still hovering around above 90 with game mode on. So yeah, I think still, even if multi-CCD or like 2 CCD CPU is better to have game mode on this game. Okay, finally we are going to see how this 1 billion population city look like. Well, this one seems to be a long time ago. It's a safe game from 2023. Also downloaded. So in the first try, we have tested the 200,000 population at DLSS off as a native 4K. We get around 40 something, and in the second one, 500,000 population city, we get around 40 something FPS at DLSS balanced. Simulation speed for 200,000 population city is around 0.99, and for the 500,000 city was around the lowest is like 0.88 and the highest is 0.96 and 0.97. Okay, well, we see CPU usage coming up to like what 117% I just saw. The VRAM usage is still low. Yeah, 2 FPS if I zoom in. Yeah, basically I wouldn't say unplayable. If maybe it will stabilize a little bit after you've zoomed in. But yeah, 2 FPS is a thing for the 5090. Imagine that. Yeah, not too optimistic here. See if things can stabilize. But I think once you move the camera, once you pan the camera, once you zoom in or out, it gets down to like the single digits. It's below 5 FPS basically. Yeah, but if you're like still, standing still, not moving anything, you can get up to like 20 something FPS sometimes. For this 1 million population city. So we are looking at 20. Yeah, it just seems that it's I mean, look at the cars, right? I'll see how slow they're moving. And GPU usage is down to like 32%, so meaning that we are like 100% CPU bounded at this stage. So I think we need something like a Threadripper or an Intel like Xeon CPU to handle this medium efficiency. If you zoom really close, then I think it looks a little bit smoother. It doesn't get down to the single digit once you zoom out. I think in the moderate distance, that's where the game really starts to like stutter or even stop. Let's try DLSS. Ultra performance. Yep. Yeah, as I expected. It doesn't matter too much. If you zoom out, you just, I think you would still get very, I think it's smoother now. I think the CD may have like fully loaded in, so when I'm panning the camera now, it doesn't like stutter down to like the single digit FPS like 2 FPS just now. Maybe the CT is like fully loaded onto RAM, because I do have like 96 gigabytes of normal memory of the DDR5 and like 32 gigabytes of VRAM for the 5090 of course. So 20, okay, you see that stutter again. So I think compared to when I just loaded the save, it's much smoother now. Send in and see what happens. So, and this is by the way DLSS Ultra performance. So let's try. If we go back to balance, is the stutter still there or? Okay. Okay. It seems to be, yeah, the loading problem rather than the DLSS problem. As you've noticed that the GPU usage is very low if you look at the benchmark on the right. So if we change it all the way back to disable DLSS, that's native 4K basically. Yeah, it's the same FPS. So I don't think GPU is a matter here. If you get your city to this kind of scale, obviously that's a point that you cannot have like a really old GPU But yeah, I think basically. So let's look at simulation speed. Anyway. Okay, simulation speed seems to be around 0.582. Just fluctuates too much. I can't really see anything. Yeah, I think 0.58 to 0.68 is a range that I see. Often I don't see numbers higher than 0.68 nor a number lower than 0.58. Yeah, I see maybe a bit lower, just very occasionally. Yeah, but the speed, or the smooth speed as they call it, in this benchmark under the console it's fluctuating a lot. Not sure why. That's that. So definitely not even close to what we've seen just now for 500k and 200k population cities, where simulation speed is up to, I think it was both around above 90 pixels. The FPS, I think, yeah, it's pretty much fixed at this point. Doesn't relate to GPU at all. GPU usage is 50%. So this is, I think, the most CPU bound game that I've tested so far, especially with this safe game. Yeah, hope you find this useful. So it appears that this game doesn't really require a very strong GPU, even if you're playing in 4K, because you've long been like CPU bound before you can hit your GPU limit. You don't need a 5090 to play this game. Yeah, and I mean I'm basically using the best consumer grade CPU right now. The fastest consumer grade CPU. I've explained how it is like best consumer grade CPU in both gaming and productivity in the last video, so I'm not going to repeat that. But yeah, just to very quickly recap, 9950X3D is no longer inferior to the 9800X3D as in last generation, where the 7950X3D is clearly a little bit slower than the 7800X3D. This time it's just the other way around. So for both gaming and productivity, I mean, for gaming it beats the 9800X3D, and for productivity,
a tornado is approaching the city.
I think this is the surprising part, it also beats 9950X. Yeah, so that's that. That's what you get on a medium population city for cities Skylines to on the top end CPU. Yep, hope that helps, and if you enjoy this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.